Welcome to World Walks, a joint production of Firehouse Projects, the Unconservatory, and Cranberry Coast Concerts, supported in part by a grant from the state of Florida and viewers like you. With your hosts, Lilia Fontana, Kurt Whipple, and Marilyn Morales.
Walks before curfew, walks through remote and urban areas, walks in neighborhoods have become escapes from our enclosures of four walls. At times contemplative and in reflective solitude, walking becomes a vehicle for introspection and meditation, facilitating deep thought. We walk in fellowship together with family and friends who have hunkered down together. Whether alone or with companions, walking is a deeply personal activity. In response to the isolation our society has collectively experienced during quarantine, we have launched World Walks, Firehouse Projects, in collaboration with the Unconservatory and Cranberry Coast Concerts, presents this virtual experience inspired by our immediate and increased need to connect with each other. Good afternoon and welcome to World Walks, our series of up-close and personal interviews with artists and educators walking, talking, and creating in their natural environments. Hi, Kirk and Marilyn.
Hey there, Lily. I see Marilyn's empty chair, but she should be there soon. I think she might be bringing her mom in to enjoy the presentation. How are you doing?
I'm good. And before we get into our program, we have some people to thank, right?
Absolutely. We would like to thank the State of Florida Division of Cultural Affairs. And actually, we have three very important reasons to thank them today.
Kirk Whipple,
Marilyn Morales, and Firehouse Projects.
And each were approved
by the State of Florida Division of Cultural Affairs. I want to make sure I get this right. General Program Support and Specific Cultural Project Panels, the State of Florida Legislature,
and Governor Ronald DeSantis.
Yes, for three separate grants supporting fiscal year 2021 and 2022. Yes, as a matter of fact, Marilyn was approved for her grant to support Always Remember, and this will be public record soon, for a $25,000 grant, which is going to go in support of the premiere of her musical, which will be happening in the spring next year. And I was able to secure a grant that's going to help us with touring activities to do things like perform in schools with Oliver Diez and other schools around the state of Florida. And you had some good news for Firehouse Projects too, right, Lily?
Yes, I do. We have the funding of snapshots from the Cuban diaspora that was funded, and all those wonderful things that we've been doing.
So yes, please take a moment, everybody in Florida, to thank all the people who made that happen and all the wonderful things we're going to be able to do with that assistance.
Now, would you tell us about today's featured World Walks guest?
I'd love to introduce our special guest today. He's a good friend of ours, and there's Marilyn. She's being safe to make sure that no one gets any virus online. And we'd like to introduce our pal and colleague, Oliver Diez. He is the Director of Music Programs at Palmetto Elementary School in Pinecrest, Florida. He also, ladies and gentlemen, was the 2020, now we're not just talking about music, but 2020 Miami-Dade County Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, Oliver. How you doing?
Thank you, guys. Good. I'm really doing really well. Thank you, guys. Pleasure to be here with everyone. Glad to see faces here, all joining us today. But doing real well. Now that the weekend's here, and well, to be honest, the school year's almost done. So pretty excited for summer to hit.
Yes, I bet you are. I think every single teacher out there is hoping for the same. Counting the seconds.
Pretty much, yes.
Well, Lily, would you like to get into Oliver's presentation here?
I would love to. It was so interesting to receive all your images, and I thought so. I kind of separated, let me put it that way, into part 1 and part 2. So part 1 really is getting to know you, and you submitted images of when you won the award, of you conducting your orchestra and marching band and things like that in your family. And I thought it was nice to separate that. And then part 2 would be the World Walks photos, the photos you took as you walked around your neighborhood, and the things that we all kind of explored, things that we probably never saw before driving by instead of walking. So if you can start rolling, and maybe Oliver, if you want to throw in some words of what was happening.
Sure, definitely. I'll be very happy to. This is actually the portrait that I had to have taken for Teacher of the Year, because there were 4 of us that were finalists for Miami-Dade, and for each of us had a portrait taken, and this has been ultimately my self-portrait for anything that I need to be submitted. So this will be on for future portraits for me to show in anything that needs to be shown of my face or appearance.
Well, and one thing I wanted to mention too, for everybody watching, is that you know, I'm going to make you blush here, because this wasn't, again, an award amongst music teachers or just elementary teachers. This was out of the, I think there's something like 22,000 teachers in Miami-Dade County, and you were number 1, sir.
I know, definitely. It was, I can definitely say that this was the highlight of my career, not just as a music teacher, but as an educator overall. I know we had a former band director, Frederick Ingram, who is now president, I think, for NEA. He used to be very involved with the union as well, but he was a band director, I believe, like I want to say Carroll City or Booker T. Washington High School. I'm not sure which one of those, but Frederick Ingram was also a Miami-Dade County Teacher of the Year. But it's just a prestigious award, honestly. Not just as a music teacher, but I thought of myself as an elementary music teacher. Because there's a lot. There's so many elementary teachers out there, not just including the middle schools and high schools. This obviously was at the banquet. The banquet was held the end of January on 2019. Now, something for you guys to understand, I received the award in 2019, but I was named the 2020 Teacher of the Year. And the reason why is because that's at the district level. Then you continue on to the state level, which I did not make as a finalist, and that was perfectly fine. But because if you win the state, then you're announced the state winner in the summer of 2019, and then that following school year, 2019-2020, you're traveling around the state as an education ambassador. So that's why they call it the 2020 Teacher of the Year. I never could understand that until it was explained to me.
And so you were the pandemic Teacher of the Year.
Yeah.
Online. Pretty much online. You know, I want to add a little something, because the funding in the arts are dwindling, and especially tough for music teachers and art teachers in elementary school. You end up pushing carts. And so it really, what you did was commendable. I think you put together such an amazing thing.
Well, I'm going to jump in here too, because we've watched Oliver's progression through the years. Because the first year he got there, we have a concert in the artist program that is presented by the Unconservatory. And Oliver booked us pretty much every year since the beginning of the program. And the first time we got there, he was pushing a cart from room to room with recorders and tambourines and anything he could fit on the cart. And then later,
I like what happened the next.
Oh, here he is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like so then they put him in the back of a library, a classroom behind the library, and then they used to tell him, keep it quiet. I'm like, really? Music? I mean,
I was just happy to get a room, honestly, because when I got that back room in the library, that was my first year that I was able to start the band program, and that was in 2002. So I had been in a cart for 2 years, which was pretty good. I thought I was going to be there longer, but the principal at the time, she realized how fast my program was developing. She knew what my goal was about having the elementary band, and so she was able to give me that room, which I happily accepted. I just wanted a place that I was not traveling. I was in heaven at that time. It was incredible for me to finally have that.
Did you feel at first, Oliver, that you were kind of like the guy in prison pushing the books to the to the people in different cells?
Yes, exactly. And the funny thing is that I've had to travel obviously this year because my room, the art teacher's room, it was all used for classrooms because the classes had to be smaller. And this year, I was not lugging a cart since with all the advancements and technologies, I was either traveling with just a flash drive that I would just project everything now with the Promethean board, which is basically an electronic board with a projector that everything that is on the teacher's computer in the classroom gets projected up there. Or the kids have their own devices, and with a very generous donation from someone, we don't know who it was, but earlier this school year, someone donated for all the elementary teachers to have their access to the Quaver music website, which is a remarkable website. Very interactive for the kids. It's episodes of different lessons. It's incredible. So with all that, I was traveling, but it was nothing like lugging around. So it was just my bag with a few things, my flash drive, and the kids to know what to do on their own devices. But yes, definitely. I mean, it's been quite a journey. But I happily accepted that back room in the library, and then until I was able to get a portable, and little by little progressing into what we have now, which is a music suite.
Well, and let's get to some pictures, ostensibly showing how you got the attention of the powers that be. Definitely,
yeah. In that previous one that you had, you can go back real quick, Kirk, please, to the previous one. This was a school board meeting where they honored myself and the rookie teacher of the year. She's, let's say, towards the left with the white suit. She's holding a proclamation as well. Yes, she's a classroom teacher over at Pinecrest Elementary, and she was named rookie teacher of the year. And she's actually Evelyn Greer's daughter, a phenomenal teacher, and she was only just a rookie with all the accomplishments she's had. And then right there where I'm at, towards the right, my wife to my right and our two sons, they have performed today because they, besides featuring me, they had asked me to take the chorus and our jazz combo. So my older one, Ollie, he's wearing a blue long sleeve shirt because he was performing with the jazz combo, and then Matthew, our young one, was performing with the chorus. But yeah, that was at a school board meeting. Now the next picture, this was the highlight of my music education career, and that is my concert band performing at Carnegie Hall. And Carnegie Hall was already planned. This happened. It was just such an amazing coincidence that this happened. This happened the same school year as the Teacher of the Year. So it was just an incredible year. I was recognized Teacher of the Year late January 2019, and that following March, our performance was on March 25th. We were the only elementary school band that performance. They do have a few others throughout the festival, but we were the only one that day in that concert. I think it was about 7 groups, and they were mostly high schools and maybe 2 middle schools, and they put us smack in the middle of
Oh no.
It looks like we've.
We all practically went on our own side. So the students, I wanted them to make sure they had an opportunity to take their parents, whoever wants to go, whether it was grandparents, parents, siblings, and we had a big amount of people, but it was just an incredible. And I am sure the kids they did a phenomenal job, but I think the parents appreciated the experience more than the kids. And to make it even more special, this performance was on my youngest son's 8th birthday. He was in that picture. You could probably he's all the way to the left, and you can see him. His feet barely touch the ground. And 8th birthday performing at Carnegie Hall. He didn't know what that meant. I remember my mother, who was there, my parents went to on that trip, and my mom was asking him, "Are you excited about this?" He's like, "I want to go home and have a birthday party." So he was more focused on his birthday party, which I understand. Of course, at 8 years old, you're not going to know the magnitude of that performance, but it was just incredible, an incredible experience. They did incredible. I was so proud of them. That was in the dressing room with both my sons. Incredible experience, and it happened to be right at the spring break, so everybody had the choice to stay a few days after the concert or take off the next day, and it was one of those things that definitely once in a lifetime. I don't know if I'll be doing that again. I was the only director that took both a chorus and a band, because most of the directors there, or all of them, just took one or the other. But I figured if I'm going to New York to perform at Carnegie, I'm taking both groups. And it was intense. I got to tell you, it was an intense year planning for this trip, preparing the students for the performance, and then also with the Teacher of the Year preparations, because that whole preparation for the Teacher of the Year was that previous December. And Miami-Dade County, as you know, is the biggest county in the state. And we have a good 20,000 teachers. So it's two processes. I was finalist for my region. So that took an interview, an observation of a committee to come and watch me teach. Once I made the region winner, South region winner, and I was a district finalist, it was another interview process, a new committee that I had to go and interview with. I had to make another lesson that they came in and observed, and I just went with it. But when I was talking to the other teachers across the state, when I went to the state level, I knew I wasn't a finalist, but you go anyway because they have a few workshops and you meet all the other state winners across the county, all the other counties. It was just a great experience. I believe we have 77 counties in Florida, so there were 77 county winners across the state, and we all met each other. And I remember there was a county that had maybe 10 schools. So it just, I get to appreciate more of what I had accomplished when we have over 352 schools in this county. It's just a great honor. Honestly, I was okay not winning at the state level. Finalists would have been fine, but it was okay because this is what I learned later, that if you're chosen as the state winner, you're out of the classroom for a whole year. Again, because you're traveling across the entire state, visiting others. But I was very happy. There were 5 finalists in the state. 2 of them were music teachers. One of them was a K through 12, I want to say special education teacher, music. And it's incredible. When I saw his video, him working with these students at all ages and with disabilities, I had tears in my eyes. Just such an incredible teacher. But the winner was Dr. Dre Graham, which is the high school band director in Tampa. And he deserved it. These are just amazing teachers that when I see what they were all about and dedication. And Dr. Dre Graham, when he won, he came to visit. He told me, I'm going to have a goal. I'm going to visit every single county, because they don't have to visit every county. They go where the state tells them to go. But he made a goal that he wanted to see every single county, go with every teacher that we were at the state level, at the county level, I should say, and just travel around, because he wanted to know what's going on in the state. And now he's up. He got an opportunity working at the state level in Tallahassee in the Department of Education. And so it's great that they actually have someone like him, a music director, a music teacher, who appreciates the arts so much, and now he's up in the Department of Education in Florida, you know, speaking for all of us and really standing up for what's right for the children and for the teachers and all of us.
Well, I'm going to roll through a couple of things real quick here because I want to make sure that we can include everything. But
definitely.
Who's the lovely lady on your right?
Well, that is my gorgeous angel, as I call her. That's my wife. We'll make 15 years of marriage in a few weeks. June 24th is our 15th year anniversary. And those are our two precious loved ones. Oliver Jr., Ollie, we call him. He's the one in the red shirt. He is now 13 years old. So he's a bit taller than he was in that picture. He already passed my wife in height. He's gaining on me. And then our youngest, Matthew, he's currently 10 years old.
Okay.
This was at the Superintendent's 5K. This was actually maybe, I want to say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks before they shut everything down with the pandemic. So I was surprised that they actually still kept this on. So I want to say this was at the beginning of March of 2020. That was our first time. This was my first time with the 5K the year before, and I was able to catch the boss there in person, Mr. Carvalho, which I believe is a phenomenal superintendent, and we're so lucky to have him.
And this is one of our favorite pictures, showing that you've forgotten to hide your superpowers as you're flying over the band.
This was a great treat. This was at the high school marching band's assessment or the evaluation. And, you know, to help fundraise more ticket sales, for the past, I want to say maybe close to 8-9 years, somebody came up with a great idea that at the beginning of the evaluation, before the band started getting evaluated, they invited all the middle school students or elementary, and they all performed the Star Spangled Banner. So we teach the music for like a good 2 months before this event, and any student that wants to attend. So it's a mass band of about easily 200 to 300 students, elementary, middle schools, across the entire county. And then the year that after I won, the following fall, they asked me to direct the mass band. So that was a very special treat.
Drum roll. Here's the big reveal.
Yes, there you go. And if you look at that front row, that's one of my kids. That little oboe player right there, dead center. You can tell a height difference. And just to the left of my head was my youngest son, Matthew. You could barely see him, but to the left of my head, you can see him right there.
The sunglasses.
With the sunglasses, right. This was after our jazz combo performed. This was actually shortly after I won Teacher of the Year. We had a performance at FIU, and they had it was a voluntary thing that any schools that wanted to have their group perform to fundraise for the DCMEA, for the districts of Dade County Music Education Association. And we were just having a little fun picture there after the performance.
Well, and speaking of interesting performances, da 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 da.
There's the Star Wars geek. The Star Wars geek.
I became more of a geek when I realized that I can dress up like a stormtrooper. That was only a few years ago, as a matter of fact. This was, again, the same year. This was the spring concert of my 2019, and I had performed that piece way back quite a few years ago before, but I figured it was my son's 5th grade year. We had an incredible talented band, as you know, we went to Carnegie, and I said, you know, guys, let's bring out this Star Wars medley, and I'm going to have a surprise for all of you. So I kind of told them we had a surprise. I didn't tell them what it was. But I am part of the 501st Legion, which is a worldwide organization of costuming. So it's basically hardcore Star Wars fans across the entire world. There's different chapters in every country. In our case, there's different chapters in every state in the U.S. And we just dress up. We make our own armor. This was at my buddy's spring concert. So he heard about that, and he asked me, can we go over there? And so we basically make our own armor or costumes. It has to be approved because it needs to be accurate to a certain level if we're going to be representing this organization. And I've done...
Here's your board.
Yes.
I love this. This is like the epitome of the pandemic.
This was during the pandemic. This was May 4th, Star Wars Day in 2020. So I told the boys, you know what, guys, let's make it a Star Wars themed pandemic picture. So they have their own Jawa costumes, and I went ahead and put my armor on. So that was a great picture. But yeah, we have a lot of fun dressing up, and again, it's all volunteer. We've done a lot of charity events, hospital visits, birthdays, parades, sometimes movie premieres. If the movie theaters allow us to go in, a lot of movie theaters have their policies, no masks. But it's been incredible. I obviously haven't trooped, and I miss it. I haven't trooped since the pandemic started, but we're all looking forward to trooping again, hopefully in the future.
Oliver, was that how you handled the pandemic, with you in front of the table with your sons doing their homework and you doing Zoom with your classes?
At first, yes. When we first started, schools were shut down in 2020 in late March, mid-March. We were all in the same dining room, table. Later on, as they became more independent of what to do and how to move around, then they went, because, obviously I understand the whole noise level. I'm talking constantly, and they're trying to listen to their teachers. So when they became much more independent, they just went into their bedrooms, and that's it. I mean, they've done a great job. This year they've been at home all year. Both my sons are asthmatic, so we decided to keep them home all year, and they've been doing phenomenal. And it's not for everybody. I mean, I have students at school, not too many, but you can tell that it's a challenge.
Yes.
Of course, you have distractions at home, and you need that commitment, that dedication, that responsibility level that you can do your own work, because it's very few parents that are going to be able to sit next to their child and watch over them the entire time. I can't do that because I have a job as well. So we're very fortunate, my wife and I, that both our boys were doing a great job this year in school and have kept up very, very well with their studies.
Good.
Well, and next up, Lily, we have a video that Oliver made, just a kind of little personal testimony of what's been going on with him in the pandemic. Shall we roll that?
Absolutely. I love what he says.
Here we go, everybody.
Hi there, everyone. Hope all is well with everyone. I'm Oliver Diez, music teacher at Palmetto Elementary School, and it's been quite a year. I'm sure I speak for a lot of teachers and students and parents as well, that it has been 1 year to remember. Reflecting back on this whole school year, going back to last year, it's been pretty challenging. And I'm sure a lot of music teachers out there can agree with me that it's been quite an adjustment period. For me, having a very active program in my school at Palmetto Elementary, it was quite a setback, I guess is the right word, but you kind of appreciate more what you had already. I always appreciated what I had because I worked so hard to develop that program from scratch, where it started from. But it's been quite a ride this whole school year, not being able to play wind instruments of any type in person, teaching virtually, band, chorus. Man, was that challenging. It was extremely challenging. I mean, I feel guilty of saying it, but it wasn't enjoyable anymore. I mean, just not being able to have that camaraderie, have all the students playing together, assessing the students all together, because it's not just the teacher assessing them, but when the student is performing or playing for the director, all the other ones are listening too, and in a way they may be assessing or at least listening in a bit. So it's been way different, and I'm just, God willing, I'm hoping that everything will come back to normal as far as running rehearsals in person all together at school, because I miss it so much. I have not missed teaching recorder as much as I did this year. But based on all that, there was a lot of things that I was really proud of this year. It's always a pleasure hearing back from former students, and this was an amazing hear from some of my former students, and that's what really kept my year going on, besides my family's health, my health, God's help. But listening into a former student who had told me ahead of time, but once it was all set, he texted me, letting me know that he had recorded his first album, and he's only a senior in high school. Connor Monroe, great musician and incredible student, person overall. Connor Monroe's recorded and produced his own CD, and he's gonna go far. A few weeks after that, I received a text. One of my former students, Jazzy Ortiz, who was in my chorus for 4 years and has performed with our students as an alumni event. She sent me a picture of her holding the golden ticket going on to Hollywood when she auditioned American Idol. And I'm just so proud of these students. A couple weeks ago, another student, Adam Stein, he sends me a text that thanking me for everything, and he had just been accepted to Juilliard School of Music. And those are the motivations that us teachers need, just to be reminded of what we do and why we do it. I've always said it that the profession of education is not a profession with a lot of money, and we know that. We know that from the get-go, but that's not why we do it. It's the passion that we have to make such a difference and to help form the next generation. And these are just 3 examples. I mean, going back a few years ago, it's been more students that have made me so proud. And I'm just fortunate, so fortunate to be at the school I'm at. Palmetto has been just wonderful to me. And as a career, it's unimaginable what I have accomplished there. 2 years ago, in 2019, being named the Miami-Dade County 2020 Teacher of the Year was just the highlight of my education career. And then a few months after that, my contraband and chorus students performing at Carnegie Hall, all within 3 months apart. Never did I ever imagine that I will be accomplishing that when I first started back in April of 1999. However, even though I didn't imagine coming to that level, I knew I was going to put in 120% of hard work and dedication. And that is truly the reason for my success. Having high expectations, challenging my students. Even though they're elementary, that didn't hold me back from having a contraband. Even though they're elementary, it didn't hold me back from having a chorus made up of 2nd through 5th graders. Kids should be allowed to experiment and try new things. And if they succeed, take it up a step. And that's what happened with my band program. That's what got us to Carnegie Hall, being the only elementary band to perform on that performance on March 25th, 2019. Challenging them more and more and more. And students like Connor Monroe, Adam Stein, others in the past, Ian Munoz, these are all students that were in my contraband at first and then joined the jazz combo. When I saw that they were all keeping up, I took it up a notch. Let's do another song, harder, and took up another notch. And I have no shame to say it, these kids are amazing musicians, way better than I was in high school at their skills of improvising, of reading. And it's just because of their dedication and hard work and their desire and their passion with music. And I'm so honored, not for my band students, but for all my past students, so honored to have introduced them to the world of music. And teachers, please remember that. There's going to be many times, God knows I've been there, where you feel overwhelmed. Of course we feel overwhelmed. It's in a way a thankless job, but parents do appreciate it. There's a lot of parents out there that do see the hard work that us teachers put in. And hearing back from former students is just the icing on the cake. So all the best to everyone as the school year is rounding up. 7 days left, 7 more school days. Hope everyone has a restful and very well-deserved summer, and all the best to you guys.
Oliver, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for the work you do, because I see the frustration in teachers, and I rub elbow with them very often, and they kind of give up. And the longer they've been in the system, the more they've given up. And it takes a lot of strength, emotionally, physically, to provide the level of quality of teaching that you obviously have done. So I thank you.
As all of us do.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, not just this year, obviously, because of the pandemic, but and I know there's teachers out there that have it even harder than I do. I'm so blessed. I'm in an amazing school. Palmetto it's a godsend. I didn't even know about it until I interviewed there. It's an incredible support that parents give there, because there's parents that really want their children to succeed and support them. You know, of course, you're going to have parents that are really on top of their kids' grades, but listen, if that's what you need to get in order to have the program and the support, because, and I'm very humble when I say it, it's not just me that developed this program. Yes, I was the one that spearheaded it and had the drive to make it, had it in my head what to do, but without support from parents, it wouldn't have happened. Without support from the administration, it wouldn't have happened. Without the motivation of these students, it wouldn't have happened either. So it's an equation. You need an incredible, dedicated teacher, really interesting and motivated students, supportive parents, supportive administration. With those four, then you have a great formula to succeed in what would I've accomplished at that school. And other teachers have accomplished at other schools. But yeah, very blessed to be at that school.
Well, congratulations, Oliver. And you know, we're gonna get back and give people a chance to say hi in a few minutes. But we have a little collaboration with Oliver coming up here. Oliver, you set up over there with your musical equipment.
Oh yes, it's all ready to go.
A reprieve from the intensity.
Yeah, here we go. We have this segment is musicians walking jokes. Here we go. So, a violinist walks into a bank and everybody's afraid.
Why?
Because they think he's going to pull a gun out of his violin case. Okay? So now, a violist walks into the bank and everybody's afraid. Why?
Why?
They think he's going to open it up and play it. Okay, a conductor walks up to a soprano and says, here's how we're going to do this number tonight. We're going to start off really slow. Then we're going to do 5 bars instead of 4 in the A section. Then we're going to transpose it up a tritone. And then we're going to speed up just before we come back. The coda is going to be in 7/4, at which point it's going to transpose down a major third. And the soprano says, I can't possibly remember that. The conductor says, well, that's how you did it last night. So a jazz musician dies and goes up to heaven and walks into a jazz concert. He sees that everybody's sad there, so he walks up to an angel and says, what's wrong with all of these people? They're the greatest jazz musicians who ever lived. There's, Louis Armstrong, there's Buddy Rich, there's Duke Ellington, and just dozens of just great players throughout musical history. And so the angel says, yeah, well, God's got this girlfriend and she sings. Okay.
Sappy, sappy, sappy.
Final one. This has two answers. Okay, soprano and a conductor walk over the edge of a cliff. Which one hits the bottom first?
Which?
Well, you know, the conductor, because the soprano lost her way. Or the second answer, who cares? Well, there you go. There's our little segment, and tell us about what we're going to show you next, because it's something that we did with Oliver at his school. And I had this simple little idea. I thought we're going to do 3 classes, and we're going to do a little piece for each class. Wouldn't that be nice to show them how to compose a piece?
We never do things in a small way.
Now she'll explain it while I put this together. Here we go. Tell them, Marilyn.
We brought the computer, and because we wanted to show the kids how to compose a piece. And all right, Kirk's idea was to compose a small thing, but I thought, why not get every single kid involved?
The really idea from Marilyn, as it were.
And so then I asked, how many of you play sax? Oh, violin, oh, drums. So they all come up with a little theme, and then we helped them, and it came out. It's really cool. I mean, come on, Kurt. It had to be, you know.
Yeah, it's the young conservatory. You never do anything conventional.
No, you know.
It actually was lovely, and it did involve apparently every single musician in Oliver's program. And this is actually their piece. I'm going to frame this so that we can watch the piece go by.
That was fun.
And it's a 2-minute piece, but you can see what happened. Instead of this being a 3 little short chamber pieces, it turned into one big orchestral piece. So here we go.
Bravo! That was awesome. That was quite. I was in the school orchestra for 7 years. I don't think we sounded that good.
Well,
this was wonderful.
But to be fair, that was actually a finale realization of the score, but eminently playable by his phenomenal organization.
You know what's really funny? It's like, you know, if we were in another state, you know, I mean, in here they came up with that da 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 da, you know, kind of like, you know, Latin thing, you know. I think
right.
It's the relationship or something, you know. It's like, you know, but in Massachusetts or something else, it would be different. I think, you know, they would.
It wouldn't be not too much syncopation.
Yeah. all of the themes came from Oliver's music students. They either played it or sang it, and we helped them to transcribe it. And
Title, the palmetto bug thing, you know.
yeah, the title was the
dancing palmetto bug.
the dance of the palmetto butterfly.
Butterfly. Yeah.
I think one of the students want to call it squishing the palmetto bug. I don't know, but you know.
Well, isn't that a cucaracha?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So they came up with a more beautiful the dance of the palmetto butterfly. Oliver, did you want to make any comments about that?
I have honestly I have forgotten about that piece. I mean, I'm so glad to hear it again. But yeah, this was a good 4 years ago maybe.
Something like that. Hey, pull it out. Get the kids perform it. Maybe we'd love to show up and see that happen.
Oh wow, yeah, that'll be quite a work to do. But yeah. This upcoming year is going to be a lot of trends, just to bring up to what we lost this year, just to get everybody back in recruitment as far, because this past year there was no beginning band. I had my concert band on Zoom, online, which was not the same, but there was no beginning band because I was not even going to try to teach beginners how to play an instrument over Zoom. It was going to be way too much work, and risking damaging instruments, because it's obviously not going to be their fault, but handling an instrument you never handled, and it's someone's teaching you through a computer, it's not the same. So this year it's trying to recruit like crazy for the following year and just make the best of it. I'm sure whatever we do, the kids will still enjoy it. Anything that can compare to this year that's the opposite is going to be very enjoyable for them.
Yeah. No, again, congrats on your program, Oliver. Just a fantastic job. And we're going to have to actually move along here. We want to give anybody who's online a chance to say hello. Does any of our audience, would any of you like to say hello to Oliver? Have a question for the 2020 Miami-Dade County Teacher of the Year? Anybody?
Or a comment.
I admire you so much. I mean, we've seen you from 1999 or something like that, you know. And let me tell you, I mean, we were in Publix like about a year ago, and there was someone wearing a shirt, Palmetto Music or something, you know, elementary. And so he said, oh, and we looked at him and said, you must know Oliver Diez. And he said, we love him. And the parents were like, yeah, you know. So
they're not just saying that to yank your chain.
No, they were serious.
There's a lot of love in the community coming at you.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver, for everything. I think it's wonderful what you're doing, and I want to give you a standing ovation.
Oh, thank you so much, Josefina.
Absolutely. We should all stand, except I'll knock my background down.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Remember, only stand if you're wearing pants, everybody.
Oh yes, and pants that match. I can't stand.
I should say, and here we go. I'll thank our guest today of World Walks, Oliver Diez, Director of Music Programs, Palmetto Elementary School 2020 Miami-Dade County Teacher of the Year. Devoted family man, plays saxes, especially alto and baritone sax, which he plays in the Miami Wind Symphony as well. And once more, we want to thank the folks at the State of Florida Division of Cultural Affairs. Their support of this program is helping this particular program made possible. And Madi, was there anybody that you think we should thank also?
Yes, actually, the legislators, because we applied for my musical, Always Remember, and they signed it. So, and there's someone else, right, Lily, that signed it, that I was really nervous whether or not he was going to sign it. And
yes.
And that's the governor. He signed it. A good thing. So we're very, very happy, and we're going to be able to do my musical. I just hope we don't get a Martian invasion next time. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, we were all set to do this last year, and 10 days before we had to cancel it, you know, So
we want to say that you should also please tune in next Sunday, June 12th at 4 p.m., 2021. Unless you're in 2022, then you can see this recording. When World Walks will feature Carlton Cornish, tenor vocalist, recording artist and educator at Oracle Corporation, and Craig Wheeler, semi-retired musician, ukulelist, librarian, actor, comic, and makeup stylist. That's one not to miss.
Yes. So on behalf of Firehouse Projects,
the Unconservatory,
and Cranberry Coast Concerts,
we wish you a wonderful walks wherever you are in the world.
Thanks again, Oliver. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you later.
Oliver.
Thank you, guys. Been a pleasure. Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Bye. Great.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.